In this tutorial, we're going to be looking at the basics of flat design, and we're starting right now. Hello and welcome. My name is Mark A, and welcome back to Creative Coding. In this tutorial, we're going to be looking at the basics of flat design, and we're going to be making this cool little email, like image asset logo kind of thing. So as you can see, this is flat design, and flat design is very minimalist. It's a very type of new design. It's very, as I've said, minimalist, and it's very simple. It's just made of simple shapes, but in the end, all those simple shapes make something really, really cool. And it's used in a lot of websites. If you search up any website, you're probably going to see something that's built with flat design. So go ahead, search up anything right now. There's probably going to be flat design in that website that you're going to search up. Anyway, so let's get started. So in this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to make this email logo. So let's get started. So I'm going to go to File, or back to Files for me. So you just need to log in to your Figma. Then you're going to click on this plus. Then we're going to click on Create File, Blank Canvas, Create File. And first thing that we can do is we can click on Frame and then Desktop. And then I'll also put a link, a card, either there or there, to my Figma videos before. So I'm going to be creating some new Figma design videos and new Canva design videos, so make sure to get ready for those. So right now we're just going to click on Desktop, and it's going to open up this page. Really nice. We're just going to change this to any color really that we want. So we can do any color. So I'm actually just going to choose a really light color. Something maybe along the lines of this for now. And we can change it any time. I'm actually just going to rename this to flat design. Okay, great. So first things first is I'm actually going to open another Figma here, and I'm going to open it up. And here it says email, so I'm going to take it from this one. And so we have a circle. So when you're adding circles just in general in Figma, you're going to go to the shape tools. You're going to click on drag down arrow, and we're going to click on ellipse. Now we're just going to drag. We're going to drag an ellipse. We're going to try and make it as close to a circle as possible, even if it's not perfect. Like as you can see right now, mine is not perfect. Okay, Figma will now autosave. Okay. And even if it's not perfect like mine right now, we can just go into the right sidebar, and it says width and height. So we can change it to let's just change it to 600 here and 600 there. And as you can see, now it is a perfect circle. So now what we can do is we can go back and look at the email from Figma, and we can see the color. So our color is like a bluish type color. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on this gray. And we're going to go to fill, and we're going to click here on the fill, the color, and we can change it with this color picker type thing. So I'm going to go as close to the color as possible. I think it was something like this, I believe. So, and even if we don't want to go just by the book, by the email logo thing, we can make up our own colors that we think look good with the background. So I think this should be okay. So now we have it dead center. We have it right in the center, our circle, and our background is a nice color. So now what we need to do is, and that's essentially 2/3 of it all. Now last thing we need to do is make the email logo. And before we make the email logo, I'm going to show you how to make curved rectangles. So basically, this is kind of like a rectangle, but we want it curved because curved looks better than pointy in most cases. So we're going to go over to this left sidebar where we change the width and height, and we see this corner radius, and we can change it to anything we want. So I'm just actually going to delete 0, and I'm going to put in 24. And as you can see, if I put in 100, or that's actually 10, I'm going to click on it, and if we put in 100, it'll turn into something more circular, but we're just actually going to put it into 24 because that should be good. So this looks really nice so far. So now we're actually just going to get started using some tools to make this email logo. So if we look at this logo here, we can see that it's very rounded on each corner, and it looks as if it's a rectangle with only a stroke, there's no fill, and then 2 lines. So it might look like a lot, but it's really only 3 components, and we can get started on that right now. So if we go to Flat Design, we can start off by going to our shape tools, and we can click on rectangle. So once we click on rectangle, we can make it like any size because we can just fix it later. I'm going to make it sort of biggish, like kind of as like a good size. Like you can try and approximately get a good size. I'm just trying to get a feel for a good size here. I think maybe a little bit bigger would be good, and that should be good. And I'm just going to center it. It's always important to center unless you're doing like rule of thirds or something. But right now, we're going to actually give it a stroke of, and we're going to change this black color to actually our pink color that we used. So our color is pink now, and we can actually just change the stroke weight from 4. We can even change it to 8. I think 8 should be good. We might need to change it in the future, but it should be good for now. So what we can do now is we can actually just make the corners rounded. It's exactly the same thing as we did with the desktop, and we can just change this to 24. And as you can see, we have our basic shape. And I'm just looking at this right now, and I see that it should be a little smaller. So I'm just going to make it a little smaller, and Figma is very nice and responsive. It responds very quickly, so I think this should be a good size. I'm actually just going to tune this up to maybe 12 or like 16, and I think that should be good. And now there's one problem that we can see here, which is the fact that if we see my email thing here, we don't want this fill. We want a fill that's either nothing, or we want a fill that's the color of the circle. So the way we would do this is we would click on it, and we could either subtract the fill, and that could work, or we could add a fill of the exact same color. Either way should be fine, but I would recommend just taking out the fill for now. So next thing that we're going to do is we can see that we need like 2 lines to make the envelope thing logo. So what we're going to do is Figma has a line tool as well. They have many tools. They have pen, rectangle, line, arrow, ellipse, polygon, star. You could even place an image if you want. But right now we're just going to focus on line, or a capital L. And we're just going to like draw a line just like this to the center. And as you can see, just like that, we've made a line. But the problem is that this line isn't thick at all, so we're going to make it a thickness of maybe 8 or 10. That should be good. We can even give it, let's give it a stroke of that pinkish color. And I'm actually just going to make the thickness a lot more, maybe 20. Okay, definitely not 20, but probably 15 should be good. And now if we place it right where we want it, which is slightly down, we can see that it doesn't exactly fit, so we can just make it a little longer. And so now we have our second component of our email. And so our last step is to actually just put in the other side. And the way we can do this is, instead of taking the trouble to make another line, we can actually just Control C and Control V, Command C, Command V, based on whatever you are, and on Mac or Windows. But if you see here, there's no really way of turning it around. So the way we would turn it around is, if you look very closely and you put your mouse right under the block, you should get this like this curved arrow, and we're just gonna click and drag on the arrow until we get to turn it to the degree that we want. So now that we have it in the degree that we want, we can place it, and I can actually just make this a little bit smaller so that it fits. And as you can see, we have our basic email logo looking down pretty good, but we need to revise over some stuff. Like, if you can notice right now, it's the envelope, the lines aren't exactly centered. So what we're going to do is we're going to fix that right now. So you have to, once you build it, it should look relatively like this. And the thing is, this is a flat design. As you can see, it's very simple, but it looks extremely clean and nice. So let's just so once you finish your design, make sure to go over it and edit all your stuff. Now that we have it at a good size, I'm going to try and do this. So I'm going to see if I can make it the same. And another big problem here is that you can see that if we scroll in, we have this, which we don't really want. So we can just zoom in and fix it accordingly. So we could do something like this. And if we keep on having this problem, we could literally just add a triangle in there. It'll kind of be the same, but it's a very quick fix that you could do. Just like that, I can add a triangle in there if I wanted to, and I could make the fill the exact same color, and you will not be able to tell the difference. And as you can see, if I scroll out, it looks relatively clean. So this is essentially how you would make your logo. And if you want, you can make some cool art with this. You can test out with different colors by simply... Now, I would actually recommend, before I go into my next subject, I would recommend keep on editing it, because as you can see here, we have some tiny gaps that need to be fixed. This needs to be fixed. But that's all practice. You need to keep on practicing doing minimalist and flat designs. Make sure to keep on searching up flat designs and try and copy artists' flat design and try and make it as close as possible to the flat design art that you like. So this is essentially how you'd make it. And if you want to test out different colors, you can just simply click on your desktop one and Control-C, Control-V, and you can literally just change the colors if you want. So our selection colors here, we can change it from let's make it like a nice yellow or so, and yellow with let's make it green, I guess. Could be good, or maybe not. Like a green with a blue, like just like this. So that looks relatively good. So make sure to keep on practicing this. Make sure to make more logo designs. And so this is just a very bare bones basics to flat design. I'm going to be making some more advanced Figma tutorials and Canva tutorials, so make sure to keep your eyes peeled for those. They're going to be really good, and make sure to watch them. So that's basically it for this tutorial. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching. Creative Coding out.